Today we're going to be talking about translations. This video is intended for the Q or honors geometry students. So if you are in regular geometry, go back and find the regular geometry video. This one's going to cover some information we have not talked about. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, let's talk about a translation and a translation vector. A translation is just going to be a slide or a straight movement of a figure. In this case, a line segment AB. A figure is going to be moved along what we're going to refer to as a translation vector. Remember that a vector has a specific size or length and a specific direction. Okay, so we're saying AB is moving, in this case, over and up to the right, a very specific set or length. And so that would mean, whatever this translation vector is up here, this translation vector has to be exactly the same thing. Also keep in mind that for our translations, your original figure, in this case line segment AB, called the pre-image, and the image, or the figure that's created from the translation, they have to be congruent figures. So you can't have one of them be longer than the other one. They can't be, for a translation, they can't be facing a different direction or look like they've been turned at all. They have to be exactly the same shape. So it should look like you were just able to put your finger on it and drag it around the page. Okay? And what we're really interested in specifically in geometry is how these behave when we're dealing with them on a coordinate plane. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Our first example here is triangle LMN, and they've asked us to translate this figure down 4 and to the right 2. For this type of translation, it's easiest just to start with one of the coordinates. In this case, let's start with M, and you're just going to count. So down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 2, 1, 2. And that's going to be where your new coordinate goes. Remember that your new coordinate is shown to be the new coordinate by putting a little apostrophe. So this becomes M prime. Alright? So next we'll do L. So L, count down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 2. And so this is our new coordinate for L, so it's L prime. And N, count down 4, to the right 2, and there you have N prime. And then you can connect all 4 of those coordinates to create your new triangle. A couple of things to notice here. Our original triangle was a right triangle. Our new triangle is a right triangle. That's really important. If you had started off with a right triangle and you got an obtuse triangle or something like that, you'd have a problem. And again, it looks just like we took L and N and we just slid it down. Right? The easiest way to solve these is to graph them, and then if it asks you to list out, the coordinates L prime, M prime, and N prime, is to then go back and write down your coordinates after you graphically solved it. The next way that our instructions might be given would be in a nice little formula in the form of an ordered pair. So in this case, they have told us that we have x minus 4 and y plus 3. So that's saying for every x coordinate, we have to subtract 4 to get our new x coordinate. And for every y coordinate, we have to add 3 to get our new y coordinate. So first, you want to go ahead and make a list of your original points or coordinates. So we have t, which was, or is, at -1, -4. U, which is at 6, 2. And v, which is at 5, -5. And we are going to plug these in to our formula in order to get t prime, u prime, and v prime. Alright? So let's start with t. So our x value is -1. So we have -1 minus 4 is -5. Our y value is -4. So we have -4 plus 3 is -1. And we're going to continue that with each of the other coordinates. So we would have u prime then becomes 2, 5. v prime, excuse me, becomes 1, negative 2. And we're going to go ahead and graph them just to check our work. All right, so we'll start with t, which was originally here. And for t prime, we go back negative 5 and down 1. This is t prime. U, which originally was here, we go over 2 and up 5. This is u prime. And v, which was down here, is now over 1 and then down 2. So this is v prime. And then we can connect all of our coordinates. Okay, and again, we're looking for our pre-image and our image to look like they are the same figure. Okay, just one's in a different location. If not, you need to go back and check your work. All right, so the last one that we're going to do is going to ask us to translate this along the given translation vector. So in this case, we're going to use TUV again, and this time we are translating this triangle along the vector negative 3, 2. Remember that the fact that it has these little pointy brackets on it means that it is a translation vector, okay? That or is a vector, excuse me. It is not a coordinate. It is not just a point, all right? So your first step for this is actually going to be to turn this translation vector into a formula like the one we had on our last page. So, for example, on here, we know that on a vector, the first number represents the amount of change in x. So we would have x, and this is negative 3, so we're doing minus 3. We know that the second number represents the change in the y value. So this would be y, and 2 is positive, so it's going to be plus 2. Right? So this, then, is our formula, just like we had on the previous example. And so, again, you would want to go through, and you want to list out your coordinates, and then plug them into the formula and get your new coordinates. Some of you are wondering, can I do this graphically? And the answer is yes. I find that some students make a lot more mistakes when they try to do it this way. They forget about the left and like positives and negatives. But if you'd like to, this is how that works. I'm going to work these out using this graph, like doing this graphically. So we're starting at point T, and I know that my x value has to be changed by negative 3. So I'm going to count back 1, 2, 3. And then my y value has to change by positive 2. So I'm going to go up 1, 2. So this is my new coordinate for t. So this is t prime. Then I have v. And again, I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2. Okay, and that was v prime. And for u, I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2. Okay, sure. And that is u prime. And then I can connect all of my points, and I will have my new figure. Now keep in mind, this is a different example than the previous one, so it's not supposed to look just like the picture on the previous one. Our translation is a different amount in a different direction. So not too super duper difficult today, just plugging in information. A lot of times a graph is going to be really, really helpful on here, so don't forget to use those. And thank you for watching. Have a lovely afternoon.